Hey Raiders, welcome back to another live arena battle video. This video will feature 5 fights and 3 wins. I finally did a complete set of tokens in a day. So they will pick first, and they will go Siphi, I'll go Duchess, and then I decide not Wukong quite yet. I probably should have flipped my Necret and Duchess, so Necret was first in the order, but wasn't thinking, and I hit submit, confirm, and we'll see who they go with next. And they go with Wukong and Ultimate Death Knight. So now I'm wishing that I'd gotten Wukong. I'm going to go Xena because she's a good Siphi counter. As soon as Siphi buffs, then Xena does get the next turn, pretty much with my build. I did put the build yesterday, so then I'm going to go ahead and go Warlord. They're probably going to ban the Warlord because this team isn't really built to fight through cooldowns. See who their last 2 picks are. Right now, I'm looking at banning the Wukong. He looks like a support Wukong. And taking it down to the wire on their picks. I mean, I get it. So they'll go the Siphi Rotos route along with Kymar. So this is a speed team, and that must be a damage Wukong, although I could ban the Warlord or the Rotos and find out, but I'm going to ban the Wukong. No, I'm not. I'm going to ban the Rotos. I think I would have normally banned the Wukong there, but I banned the Rotos, maybe thinking that was a Wukong that wasn't optimized for damage. So, see how this one goes. They did ban my Warlord, so I've got my Duchess Necret, and if they're fast enough, they can strip my buffs and do a lot of awful things to me. I'm going to go ahead and buff up, because I'm thinking Errol is going to get me through this. So Kymar slept Xena, failed to sleep the Errol, but Wukong goes ahead and sheeps the Errol. So this opponent really was overmatched, and then I didn't even realize it was my turn with the sheep, but this opponent was overmatched, but was able to just kind of strategically pop sheep through me just to keep me from going off. Sheeps my Xena there after the reset, so she doesn't get a turn. Sleeps the Errol. So this is... I'll go ahead and decrease attack on the Wukong, thinking that'll help. I kind of felt, too, like, as this fight goes on, I was the superior team, but aside from him having 4 supports, that... And it is a hybrid Wukong, so I'm calling it a support. He's able to take out both of them, low HP, I'll bring them back in. But aside from him kind of lucking out, I think he just really got good RNG. Like right there, Kymar sleeps them and doesn't weak hit either of them. So basically he's able to fight through champions that really, if they could have gone off, they would have destroyed his team, but he got some good luck there, especially with the Kymar. And that doesn't happen all the time. So I didn't like the result here, but I'm not too worried about it. So he's able to kill the Duchess right there. And finally, I got a turn with my Xena and almost one-shot the team, but not quite. So that's how close this fight was. I finally got 1 hit and was able to do something. And there I get the phone notification, and he comes back with the Wukong and finishes off the Xena. So, go on to the next battle. This one's about my point level. He'll go Siphi first. So that's twice they've gone Siphi first. Again, I've sped up my Duchess to over 300 speed to kind of be a suitable replacement for Siphi. And with Xena, I kind of want Xena fighting Siphi and Duchess then buffing Xena. So they go with Georgid, and I go Goffred and Xena. So Goffred will be the Georgid counter, and Xena hopefully will be the Siphi counter. We'll see who the last 2 picks are. What I noticed today, though, was with these fights, I really didn't face any superior teams. The only really superior team with Taurus that I faced, Taurus and Georgid together, is later on, and I actually beat that team. So I think I just need to work a little bit harder on my strategy, and it's probably about time to start grinding through gold 2. Which is why I did the full 5 battle tokens here. So we get started, and Siphi goes first. And then Xena gets elevated and almost takes out the Siphi. That was very close. But then, because I used the one that steals turn meter, Siphi counterattacked and put her to sleep. So that was kind of unfortunate. So I got to remember that when fighting Siphi, might want to not do the one that steals turn meter. Normally you want to do that. So I'm able to take out the Siphi, and I'll revive, and then Wukong finishes me off. So go on to the third fight. So 0-2 to start. I'll get Collazo. He's, again, about my points level. He's going to pick first, and he goes Siphi again. So that's 3 times they pick first with Siphi, and I respond with Duchess, and I've been trying to respond with Ultimate Death Knight as well, because he's a great Siphi counter. This one is the one that's going to go with Taurus and also Warlord. So with no longer picking Warlord as one of my core champions, and he got him first anyway, but one of my top 2 champions that I did all throughout Gold 1, I'm deferring, and then he becomes my ban target because I kind of abandoned the idea of fighting through cooldowns. So I go with the Duchess Necret UDK Super Protection Trio, and then I go Xena versus the Siphi. And Xena is also hopefully pretty decent against Taras, but he banned my Xena. So I ban the Warlord, and we'll see how this goes. So I'm not feeling too good because they're going to go first. Georgia can maybe wreak some havoc, and he takes out the Ultimate Death Knight to start. And then does his A1 on Necret, and Taurus does a really heavy hit on Necret, but still doesn't finish him off. So Georgia does have his AoE, so I want to get rid of him. I go after the Siphi because I think I'm going to be able to do some damage here. I do the strip buff, try to kill Siphi, and then she procs Swift Parry. So that was... I felt like that was going to be damning, but we'll see how this fight finishes out. Georgia is about to go, but I put decrease attack on him, and he's able to kill the Necret, but I do still have the big AoE with Arrow coming up. So I'm going to go ahead and do it. Georgia then is going to go, but he doesn't have the AoE now. Taurus was able to take out Arrow, but couldn't do anything to Duchess. Duchess is able to kill Georgia after Georgia took out Ultimate Death Knight, and now it's just against Taurus. Taurus cannot one-shot the Duchess, and now I can start working down this Taurus. Errol should be able to do this despite his reduced attack throughout the battle. But there are no buffs for Taurus to be able to hit harder, and he's going to go ahead and leave. So 1 and 2 so far. Go ahead and go to the 4th battle, and I'll get Heroi XXX. And he's a bit farther into Gold 2 than I am. He'll go with Wukong first, and it appears to be a damage Wukong. So something I see when I see them pick Wukong is I go Warlord, because if they don't have Yumiko but they do have Warlord, I don't want them having both, because I'd like to be able to ban the Wukong. And I know my Warlord is fast, so if I can have a speed aura, he's usually going to go first, especially if it's a damage Wukong. And maybe he can put them on cooldown if they decide not to ban him, if they want to ban the Duchess instead. So we'll see who they go with their 3rd and 4th pick, and that is going to be Rotos and Ultimate Death Knight. So picking Ultimate Death Knight with Rotos is the smart play in general if you can do it, because if you can't ban Ultimate Death Knight, he makes life really difficult for Rotos, and that is a fully awakened Rotos. So I'm going to go ahead and go with Goffred and Xena. Probably picked Xena a little quick, and I should have switched Goffred and put him ahead of Xena, but I did not. So we'll see who they go with last. And taking it down to the wire again. A lot of times people do take a full minute to pick their champions. They'll go with the Pythion and the Leorius, so there's triple damager. That's got to be some kind of hybrid Wukong then. But it might be triple damager. But it is 3 survivable champions. I'll go with the Anithwe because he's great against... And then I'll go ahead and ban Wukong, but he's great against Rotos too. I just don't want Wukong going. And they, of course, they banned my Warlord. So I'll go first with Duchess. Don't have to worry about the buff strip because I banned the Wukong. I'm starting to get to the point where I think picking Wukong first, for my account, is the right play. Because I'm seeing with Duchess that I can withstand them, and then I can't kill Rotos, and he's counterattacked and killed my Inithway. But I'm doing just as well with Duchess, so it's not as important for me to pick Siphi first, and maybe just picking the Wukong first is the right play for my account. So I waited on bringing back Inithway because I did not want Ultimate Death Knight to put decrease attack on him. So I'll take out the Leorius. He's going to bring them both right back, but then Inithway is going to go with increased attack, and he's going to block revive their damagers. Rotos goes, but he's unable to kill my Duchess. Put up the stun and take out their damagers. So that's a win, and that puts me at 2-2 on the day. So I took some time between fights, and so the first fight, Ami Zaman, he was way lower account power than me. The second fight, way higher account power than me. And then the next two were very similar, 14.8 and 20.6. 20.6 being higher, 14.8 being lower. So on to the fifth fight, I get Questin. See who he goes with first. I may have not gotten the first pick on any of these. So he's going to go Harima, and here I'm going to be tempted to go with Siphi, and I will do it because I don't want Siphi to be paired with Harima. And then I'll go the Wukong because he's a good counter to Harima. He'll go with the Ultimate Death Knight Rotos, so this is another one of these combos. I've seen this earlier. And I'll go Duchess because I don't want him to have Duchess. And having Siphi and Duchess on the same team isn't a bad idea. I'll go Goffred to kind of counter the Rotos. And then it looks like I'm going to be banning their Warlord. And I just got to deal with that Python. So I go with my Errol. So Wukong is awful against Rotos, so they could just ban the Errol. They ban the Siphi, though. If they ban the Errol, I think I probably would have lost this fight. If they banned the Wukong, I don't know. Errol's strong enough to take him out. So I'll go ahead and buff up. I go first. Steal some buffs. I got the Stone Skin off UDK. That you don't often see a UDK that is that low of resistance. Try to soften up the Rotos a little bit. Strip the buff off of Harima and then take some damage off the UDK, which that's a big chunk of damage. He must not have that much defense either. So he'll revive the UDK. So he spent his revive. Now I just got to worry about my double hit. I took out the Rotos. Wasn't quite able to take out the Harima. Stunned the UDK though. So the revive is spent. And I get sheeped. And they get sheeped. I'll buff up and hopefully I take out the UDK. Then I take out the Python. And now all I got to do is just deal with that sheep, who will at some point be Harima again. And Harima's back, and I one-shot the Harima. So, pretty good day. I didn't have to face any of the Taurus Marichka teams with Yumiko. So I win 3 out of 5, and that one's right around my account power. Hope you enjoyed the video, and take care.